mechanism explains why a grown adult could feel real fury watching the Montreal Screwjob unfold, even knowing wrestling is staged. It explains why a stadium of 93,000... So why does this strange, scripted spectacle keep working on brand new brains, decade after decade, when almost everything else from your childhood feels like a museum exhibit? Start with the part everyone already knows but nobody says out loud. You always knew it wasn't real. The outcomes are decided backstage. The rivalries are written. Even the infamous 1997 Montreal Screwjob, the moment Bret Hart got betrayed live on television by his own boss, Vince McMahon, was eventually revealed to be a real shoot wrapped inside a work storyline, blurring fiction and reality so well that fans are still arguing about where the line was. And yet, you cared anyway. You booed men you'd never met. You bought t-shirts for people who were, legally speaking, performing a stunt show. The French theorist Roland Barthes figured this out back in the 1950s, decades before Hulkamania ever existed. He argued wrestling was never trying to convince you it was a real fight. It was offering you something older, a morality play, a spectacle of suffering and triumph turned up so loud that subtlety stops mattering, so you can feel the emotion without needing to believe the plot. Plain English version. Wrestling was never selling you a sport. It was selling you a feeling. That's reason number one. But it's not the only one, and it's not even the loudest one. Think about the actual shape of a wrestling story. A hero rises, a villain humiliates him. The crowd turns, slowly, then all at once. The hero gets buried under chair shots and screwjobs and betrayals, match after match until the night he doesn't stay down. He kicks out, he hits one big move. The building erupts. That shape isn't new, it's one of the oldest patterns in human storytelling. The same skeleton underneath ancient myths and underdog movies. Researchers studying narrative psychology have found audiences respond hardest to stories with sharply drawn morality, where good and bad aren't ambiguous, and where suffering is followed by a clean, earned reversal. Wrestling just does this louder, faster, and more often than almost anything else on television. It doesn't ask you to decide who deserves to win, it tells you in neon lights, then dares you to disagree. Here's where it gets personal, because liking a story shape isn't the same as caring about an actual human being in tights. The media psychologist Dolph Zillman spent years studying how audiences attach themselves to people in sports and entertainment, building what's now called disposition theory. He found your emotional reaction isn't really about the activity,